And just like that, it became Friday. Good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. 73. Could be a little light rain where you are this morning as we get ready for the weekend. State games are in town. It's going to be great. Hope you can make it out. A lot of festivities planned tonight in the downtown area. If you can make it down, as they'll have the opening ceremonies. I'll do my best to be there tonight and give you some pictures and things that go on from downtown Meridian. Hope you can make it out for that. How are you? Hope good. We'll look at Meridian Honda radar here in just a little bit to let you know exactly where all the storms are and what's going on and update you. One of the first things that I wanted to mention is, well, as we go to Nashville, I look at this first story, and I'll bring this up first, as country music sort of changes in the direction that it used to be. CMA Fest. I've been. It used to be a real big deal. It still goes on. This would be the first year they've had it in 2 years. But it also has a NASCAR feel to it this morning as we go to WZTZ out of Nashville, Tennessee, where the CMA has banned, and again, banned T-shirts, anything that has the Confederate flag on it. Well, that be a T-shirt, Mississippi flag, or anything like that. You will be asked to leave if you show up with this in any shape, form, or way. Country music. Yes, Hank Williams Jr. is not going to be able to get there. Can't sing Dixie on My Mind or any of those songs. But that's happening in Nashville at CMA Week. Did not see that one coming there. We'll keep you up to date on that with developments of that as it comes along this morning. Yesterday, we did have a few fender benders as we go back to Facebook to take a look at what went on yesterday. If you were going up near Sam's, yep, there was a fender bender there. There it is there. As you get on the interstate right there is where that is. This would be coming from in front of Chili's right here at the red light. So no one was hurt. Little fender bender. Those things happen when it rains. Be careful early this morning in areas as we look at that today. Let's see what else is happening this morning. The Meridian Fire Department started early. They sure did. As we look at this, they were called a State Blvd extension just a little bit ago. The 2200 block there, right down there, before you get to that Texaco is where it was, a structured fire. From what I'm understanding this morning, this was an abandoned home. So that hopefully no one seriously hurt, no one's without a home. We don't know what caused it. A lot of times we can speculate and go on to believe that maybe it had something to do with homeless living in a home. We do have a huge problem with that in our area. It's not just Meridian. It's not just Philadelphia, places like that. If you have a home for sale, make sure to check on it frequently. If you're not in town, people will move in your house. I'd be shocked how many times I'm told that goes on behind the scenes in the area there. Let's see what else is happening this morning as we go. We did have a few shots reported last night in the area. Again, no one was hurt. Shots were heard. Nothing damaged or no injury reported with it. As we go to 12th Street and 33rd Avenue, as we back out to take a look at this, this is going to be southeast of Highland Park. It would be due north behind Mary Hope is where this would be. If you were to go to Mary Hope and just follow due north of there, west of 23rd, right in that area right there. Again, no one was hurt, but we did have shots reported in those areas there overnight. Damage as well. That's the good news of all of that. Now, our lead story this morning, and you have to go out on a limb, not on a limb, that's not the right word I'm looking for, and go that a boy. Is what I'm trying to say this morning to the Meridian Police Department. This is huge. There's probably so many cases of this that we don't know about that slipped through. The Meridian Police Department did a great, fantastic job last night. As we go back to Sam Media, if you haven't seen this story this morning, they made an arrest last night of a kidnapped child. They got a bolo from Tennessee that a child had been kidnapped and could be in the Meridian area. They were able to track down the tag number and identify it, and lo and behold, they found the kidnappers. And let's take a look at this. This was near Sam's, is where this all happened last night. The kidnappers were staying in a hotel right here. Here's McDonald's at a hotel here. Meridian Police Department made the arrest without incident. Again, that is so good. A child being kidnapped, you can only, and I don't know the details much more than they made an arrest in this, but you can only go on to believe that most likely this child was going to be pawned off into a horrible life of what they do to people who are kidnapped. Safe, is what I'm understanding at this point. Hopefully we'll get more details on this story coming up in just a little while. But the great news is this child was saved. I can't brag on the men and women that wear the blue in that case enough. Fantastic job of catching those. And there's not a sentence for people that do this that's tough enough, strong enough. I don't understand, and maybe I doubt anybody watching me understands how someone would want to do this to another human being, especially a child, a juvenile. Why? What do you get out of it other than money? What makes a person turn to this, to do things like this? We need to make examples of these people. Let it be known that we're not putting up with this in America anymore. Not everyone will agree with us on how to do that and what the answer is, but horrible. That one ended in a good way last night. An arrest, cuffs were put on, and off they went. So again, I congratulate MPD on the fine job that they've done of catching a bad guy last night. Hopefully we'll get details. We'll get some mug shots of the people that were arrested for doing this. We had a scare yesterday also. I don't know if everybody saw this as I posted this, but I kept getting texts of, hey, what's going on at NAS Meridian? As we go here, and this is the picture that I put up of the front gate there. They had someone show up that was non-compliant at the front gate. And when I say non-compliant, they were ordered to get out of the car, put their hands up, and they did nothing. Now, we don't know the exact details that went on. I've heard 2 or 3 different stories, and maybe this would go to confused, something to do with medication. I don't think it was on purpose thing. When you go to bases, you don't belong there, and they tell you to do something, you best, what's the word I'm looking for? Answer to what their requests are at a military base. The situation was de-escalated. The Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department arrived, Ward Calhoun, and all the gang showed up, and the person was taken away. That's really what we know at this point. No one was hurt, thank goodness. Could have escalated to something more, but it could have been a medical issue. We'll put it that way. And hopefully that's all it was, and everything's going to be all right. So anytime that anything ends well like that, we're proud of that. We're getting light rain this morning. Be careful. As we look around the state of Mississippi, we go to Kosciuszko next for our next story there. 3 people have been arrested, and 1 woman is wanted in connection to a murder that happened on the Northside Park there in Kosciuszko back the last part of April. They've made an arrest. That's good. Can't take these folks off the streets quick enough that do bad things like this. One of the, and I need to post this. This is being as we see what happens around America. Y'all tell me your thoughts of this. Teachers, if you're trained in schools, and I've heard it mentioned in Mississippi, should the teachers be armed to where they could protect children? Now, I've heard people on the other side of the aisle that don't agree with guns. What if a child gets this? Well, if you're trained with a firearm, no one's going to get your, especially a child, you don't leave those laying out. They're on your person at all times. That's not the way guns are done. Is that the answer to help cut back on this? I think more money needs to be put into our schools, and instead of being sent to foreign countries, I think we need to protect our citizens. But do you think that's a step in the right direction there? I know a lot of churches, a lot of businesses set this up to where they have, I don't know if the word is sleepers, but they have certain employees that are armed and no one else knows about. And should an incident happen, they step forward and take care of the problem when someone enters the building. That may be. There's something to think on there. Let's see here. A Lee County woman's been arrested. Murder charge there. 20-year-old woman. That's mighty young to be involved in this. We see this more and more each day of the younger generation being arrested for murder and murder and murder. Hate to see all of this. Elizabeth says that she absolutely does agree with that. So long as everybody passes their test, mentally stable, and be able to use a firearm, that's a good one there. Let's see here. And also a huge raise. I agree with that. They do need raises for what they do. Biloxi, Mississippi, the Gulf Coast. We've all been through there. It's a great place to pass through, go to vacation maybe. Someone was hit by a train on a bicycle in Biloxi yesterday. 47-year-old man. I hope everything's going to be recovering there. Anybody that bought tickets to Willie Nelson in Brandon, do y'all remember he had to postpone that? He had COVID. Willie Nelson was going to make his way here. The bad news is the show had been rescheduled. It is now canceled. Willie is not coming. So if you've got tickets to this, I think they're going to be doing a full refund on tickets there as Willie Nelson cancels it. It was going to be moved to June the 17th, a couple weeks from now. So if you were planning on going and hanging out, Willie's not coming. Hope he gets better. I'm sure all this goes back to this. One injured in an 18-wheeler crash in Hattiesburg yesterday, overturned on the side of the road. We see that a lot. Interstates, that's going to happen there. Let's see here. An 18-year-old man has been charged in an accident that killed 2 people. Why? Driving under the influence. 18 years old. We've seen that too many times. Don't drink and drive, especially at that age. Kill somebody. And most likely will go behind bars. We see this. I released this last night as I found this out, and we have to pass along condolences. One of the nicest guys that we've ever bumped into. So many people like him. Randy Owen of the group Alabama. I think you know who I'm talking about. Feels so right. Old flame. His mother has passed away at the age of 90. He's canceled his weekend concerts due to that, and we pass along condolences to Randy and his family during this time of sorrow. Sure hate that happened there. Let's see here. What else is happening this morning? As we look around the state, again, today is the second day of what we're going to see in all the news stories that you're going to have to watch out. The Queen celebrating her 70th year. More festivities continue today, as all eyes are on this of what goes on between the 2 brothers. Do you remember the story that was released from Kansas City, Missouri? The news media painted it as, well, the police shot somebody that was unarmed. They painted it that way. Turns out, as police released the video, the woman had a gun the entire time pointing it at police. That's what police do. You point a gun, they fire. It's a narrative of America to make the police look bad, and that's just not good. They need to investigate before they go to making people look bad, and purposely. They do that so many times. Y'all know that. Do you know the co-host on CBS, Norah O'Donnell? I haven't watched that show before, but they were trying to get rid of her. They've slashed her pay in half. She hadn't left yet. They were hoping she'd quit. She's still hanging on. But again, she makes a lot of money. In half, she's still making $3.8 million a year. I'm sure that is the old saying that could be chicken feed to what some other anchors make in these national headlines. But 3.8, she's still hanging on. This concerns me. I think we're going to see more of this as I watch these stories, headlines from state to state and what people do. They push the envelope and they seem to get away with more and more. We saw last week, wasn't it last week? Was it the earlier part of this week, where the guy took the tour in Paris and threw, what was it, some type of food on the Mona Lisa? Do y'all remember us talking about that? This week, a Texas man broke into an art museum and tore up $5 million worth of art in vases that he just didn't like. Didn't give a reason. He was mad at his girlfriend. Broke in and destroyed things. Irreplaceable. So what's next? And the more they get away with this, the more the copycat people will do. I always say that word example. Something has to be done. I don't know the answer. But this just keeps on, these rampages across America, spray painting things that they have no reason to. If you'll remember what was a couple years back where they lit a church on fire. We can't have this. Just because you don't agree with something, don't like it. I don't know what his case was of breaking in. It was Greek artifacts. What have they done to him? Burns me up. I'm sure it does you too. That's history. Whether you like it or not, you don't need to do that. Thought you might want to know that. That was in Texas is where that happened there. Sunny Hostin, who is on The View. I don't watch The View, but maybe you heard this headline. She's calling for the Republican Party to be abolished because she thinks they believe in gun massacres and are of supremacy. I'll leave it at that. You fill in the blanks. You make your own decisions of what you think of that. That's just odd, but that's in the news this morning. On the way, we're coming up next. We're going to get deep into this forecast so you can plan your Friday as we get ready for state games and whatever it is that you're going to be doing this weekend. We want you to enjoy yourself. All of that's next. Don't rush off.
At the Back Porch, we're bringing families back together for fun, food, and all the things you love to enjoy around your home. Every event starts with a great grill, great cookware, and accessories. Add in some locally sourced meat and dairy, along with frozen vegetables and casseroles, and over 500 brands of spices and sauces. Relax in our chairs, swings, daybeds, and have fun with our cornhole boards. From coolers to trailers, we have everything you need. When you see the big chair, you've made it to the Back Porch.
The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built-in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. I want to say good morning to Joyce Suttle, joining us from Carthage, Mississippi. Hope everything is great in Carthage this morning. Roy Ellis is up. Also, let's see, Clarence, how are you today? Mr. Westbrook, Jerry Mason, glad to see you there. Elizabeth Graham, a lot of people watching. We appreciate y'all so much as we begin this day. All right, let's talk about the tropics of what's going on. As Florida braces for this, we expect it to be 46-mile-an-hour winds at landfall. Let's go over and check out Meridian Honda radar as we look at this storm as it nears. Right now, as we look at this just off the coast of Cancun this morning, we're tracking it at 52 miles an hour. Wind speed, gust of 52, wind speed of 40 miles an hour as it makes its way over there across there, moving northeast at 6 miles an hour. Now, here's what we're looking at. Here's the path of this. This is going to be Saturday around 1 a.m., 1:30 in the morning is what we expect it to do, to come ashore right around Naples is where this is going to be coming in. If you're going to be in that area there planning vacation. And the wind speed, let's look at all of this as we see that it should be 46 miles an hour when she comes ashore with gusts of 58 miles an hour. We'll watch this storm as it clocks closer and closer this weekend to coming into South Florida. Nothing else on the coast so far as we watch this. That's where we are as we watch this storm. Come on, that's what's left over of Agatha. As we'll see here, look at the state of Mississippi. We've got a lot of rain, a lot of this stuff out toward Abilene that is heavy. And let's zoom in. Let's see what's going on where you are. As we see here, all around the Lauderdale County area, northern Clark County, light showers. We've got that in Jasper. Heavier showers here in Jasper and over by Newton this morning. Let's zoom in a few of these places here and look at what we've got as we turn on our locations and we move in here to just north of it. You go past Rose Hill, this area here. We got a lot of rain occurring right here. 503, 513, a lot of showers there. And as you look at the split here between 504 and 503. 15 as you go into just south of Newton on that west side, raining pretty heavy there at the school there at Newton County High, just west of Walmart. And as you go north of Newton toward Decatur, look at that rain there. If you're sitting there this morning between Newton and Decatur, it's pouring rain on you right now. As we move back across to Lauderdale County, out here on 494, we got some showers just out here by Freeman Tractor this morning. Showers all the way over in that area. Light rain in other portions of the county. Also some heavier showers just to the northeast of Lauderdale there at the Ralph Morgan Rodeo. As we look at Philadelphia, we can't leave y'all out. Y'all got a pretty good little rain coming down there. Highway 16, those areas where 15 comes in. Out by the Neshoba County Fairgrounds this morning. All of those areas there getting pretty wet. Again, all of this will fade away in a little bit. Ooh, what about Winston County? Y'all got it there. Primarily south of Highway 14, 15 in those areas there in Winston County. Light rain as well over in Neshoba County, Noxubee County as well this morning. That's a quick glance at radar of what we've got so far today. Well, let's dig deeper into all of this and take a look at your forecast in detail to let you know what's going to go on today.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we go back to look at those record highs, our record lows, and 11, it was 99 degrees on this date. Our record low was set in 1956, a cool 45 on this morning way back when. Great time, wasn't it? As we look at the across the Alabama state line this morning, we'll see that we're expecting highs to be around Demopolis, 87. We'll get that in Tuscaloosa as well. Back over to Auburn, 85. Now, again, we'll get some light showers here through about 11, and it'll start breaking away as we get to these higher temperatures. What's happening on our outlook? We're warm, but what lies out there? Well, as we look at this, all the way back out to the west, California, look how hot that's getting, and that will make its way across the deep south. Still not finished with us yet, as we've got heavier activity there with the heat coming from Texas and Meridian right at the line there to where toward the coast it's warmer. Down in Florida and southern Georgia, extremely warm. Let's go ahead and look at our 7-day outlook of what is planned with our temperature-wise and what to expect today with the weather. As we pull this up, we'll get 84 today, because we've got these showers moving through the area. We'll get down to, well, let's see, about 64 tonight. Now, again, all of this will gradually move out by lunchtime. 10:30, 11, we should have the rain gone and clear and perfect with sunshine making its way toward the state games tonight. Can't ask for anything any better. As we roll into Saturday, sunshine, 89 for a high as temperatures start moving back up, 64 tomorrow night. Sunday, a slight chance of showers there, 91 for the high. Perfect weather there. Get into Monday, it just keeps getting warmer. Look at this. By Wednesday, we're at 96. It's going to be some kind of warm next week as we look at this. 95 on Thursday. Let's go ahead and look at this toward the full next week. 93 there by the 10th, and we go all the way down to the 17th. We're staying in the 90s, not over 94 at any of these given times. Through June the 16th, we're expecting it to be mid-90s. Not horrible, not bad there. But this week will be one of our warmest there as we hit some 96-degree weather. Whew, have mercy. What are the tropics doing as we look to that, as we go back here and pull up what the National Hurricane Center has? And this is the path, pretty much like what we looked at a moment ago. As it comes across, we're looking at this to come in Saturday, making its inland rampage across Florida. Not bad. 46-mile-an-hour winds is what we're expecting as it comes ashore. Most likely as a tropical storm as we watch this closely. Well, what's the fishing forecast hold for today? Chet's Paint and Body brings it to us for this Friday, June the 3rd. Our first major time is going to be this morning around 10 a.m. Doesn't give us much of a great window there, but up until 11 o'clock, about an hour there is all we're going to get. Late this afternoon, we'll get a major time right around 5 till about 7. I would hold off and go there this afternoon. Wind is going to be northeast, 5 to 10 miles an hour as we look at that forecast for the best times to fish and everything. Now, that's a quick look at everything we've got. We've got Candace coming in this morning. She'll be here at 8 o'clock as we get ready for a great show. Tell you all about what's going on in and around the area. And again, if you got some news for us, pass it along to us so we can share it with others as we begin this day. Thanks for dropping by. We'll be back. And again, an hour and 5 minutes roughly is when we'll be back to go live with you here this morning. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. We'll see you very soon.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: